Okay, welcome back everyone to the deep dive. Today, we're going to zero in on something specific. We're looking at Tesla's, well, performance in the European EV market based on some recent sources.
Yeah, it's definitely a topic that kind of jumps out when you see the headlines because the bigger picture, right, is that the EV market in Europe is, well, it's booming, really taking off.
Furious.
But these articles we looked at, they suggest maybe Tesla isn't quite riding that wave, maybe even proportionally losing a bit of ground.
Exactly. So that's our mission for this deep dive, to try and unpack what these specific articles claim is behind that trend. We've gone through a couple of recent pieces, different perspectives.
And one of them has a particularly, let's say, pointed take, maybe even controversial.
Definitely controversial, I'd say.
Okay, so drawing from one source we reviewed, something like that piece on electric.co, the basic observation, the starting point, is just the numbers, right? It seems Tesla's sales figures in Europe are looking a bit sluggish, or maybe just not keeping up, which, contrasts pretty sharply with the overall electric car sales shooting up across the continent. That's the core fact this analysis kicks off with.
Yeah, so the pie itself is getting much bigger. But according to this viewpoint, Tesla's slice maybe isn't growing at the same rate, which naturally makes you ask, why? What's going on?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where this other source we read comes in with a very specific and, well, quite forceful explanation.
Okay, yeah, this second source, it draws a pretty direct line, doesn't it, between what it sees as a decline in Europe and a specific public gesture made by Elon Musk.
This is where it gets really distinct. Yeah, this article, it actually describes the gesture using the term saluto romano, a Roman salute.
Which carries a lot of weight, historically.
Huge weight. It's widely seen as a symbol linked to fascism. And this source, its argument is basically that because, in their view, there hasn't been a crystal clear, explicit denial or explanation from Musk about that specific gesture, especially aimed at a European audience.
Right.
It becomes something that, and this is their phrasing, cannot be forgiven by buyers there.
Wow. Okay, so that brings up a really fascinating angle on what drives people's buying choices, doesn't it? It's not just the car. According to this perspective, this single source's view, even if the Tesla itself is, technologically solid, maybe good value.
Yeah, the source even grants that, calls it maybe aesthetically anonymous, but fundamentally okay.
Right. Even with those points, that specific gesture and what this source sees as a lack of a clear public distancing from its meaning, that's the deal breaker. The source uses strong words like it cannot be endured or forgiven.
So this viewpoint really kind of doubles down. It argues that the car's good points, the tangible stuff the source itself mentions, they just get cancels out or outweighed. If, and again, this is the source talking, you don't explicitly say the gesture was a mistake and clearly state, quote, you are not a fascist. It makes a very, very direct link. Saying this act and the perceived lack of a specific denial are the main reasons for the sales issues reported in Europe.
That's certainly a bold claim being put forward in that article. It suggests that something symbolic may be perceived as political, coming from the CEO, and how the fallout is handled, can just, in the source's assessment, totally overshadow the car's actual merits for European buyers.
It puts immense focus on the symbolic impact.
Yeah, saying that's the deciding factor, according to their analysis.
Okay, so let's just quickly summarize what these specific sources are telling us, just based on their content. We've got one report suggesting Tesla's European sales might be lagging, even while the wider EV market there is surging.
Right, the market context.
And then we have this other quite opinionated source offering a very specific reason, linking it directly to that public gesture by Musk and what it views as an insufficient public response.
And claiming that this non-product factor is so huge it outweighs the tech for European consumers. That's the core argument from that second piece.
So for you listening, try to make sense of this. What these particular sources offer is a reported market trend on one hand, and on the other, a very distinct, highly critical explanation that's focused entirely away from the car itself.
Yeah, it really highlights how different sources can attribute complex market stuff to very specific, sometimes quite controversial non-business factors.
Which leaves us, and you, with a pretty provocative question to think about, doesn't it? How much do these non-product things, CEOs' public actions, gestures that get interpreted politically, how controversies are managed, how much do they really sway people's decisions?
Yeah.
Even when you're talking about a product that's like technologically advanced and competitive otherwise.
It's something to really chew on. It definitely shifts the focus beyond just the specs and the price tag, right?
Absolutely. It broadens the picture considerably. Well, thanks for joining us as we dug into these specific perspectives today.
Yeah, interesting stuff.
If you found this exploration useful, definitely hit like and subscribe for more deep dives into complex topics just like this one.